Hello, sports lovers. Welcome to Met Sports TV. In today's episode, we are privileged to have the CEO of Box Office Sports Promotion, the person of Alex Ntimoah. We are going to get into his life as a boxing promoter, the successes he has chopped, the challenges he has faced, and where he wants to take Ghana boxing as an individual. But before we get into it, kindly subscribe to the channel, adhere to all COVID-19 protocols, share our content so others can enjoy. Thank you. So welcome to Met Sports TV.
Thank you very much.
Okay, sir. Before we get into everything, most people don't know the big men behind the boxers. So today I'm unveiling you. Who is Alex Ntimoah?
Alex Ntimoah is a boxing promoter based in Accra and the CEO of Box Office Sports Promotions. My outfit is a sports promotional company, but we are focused on boxing at the moment. Actually, it was established in the year 2008 and with the vision of taking Ghana boxing to the world. When I say taking Ghana boxing to the world, what I mean is most of the time we nurture the boxers here and then we send them outside to make names there. I believe in building the industry of boxing rather than building fighters to send them out there. So I'm looking into the future as a vision that I'll be able to promote world title fights here in Ghana, and Ghana will be the mecca of boxing in Africa. And so it's not just like you building the boxers and send them out there, but you build them, you retain them here, and then they can become world champions on their own soil. And all the benefit that boxers outside there enjoys, the money, the fame and all that stuff, they can still be here and enjoy and make it like someone else in the US or in the Western world.
Okay. A co-promoter described you as the king of the new school. I don't know if I should mention his name, but he described you as you are the king of the young boxing promoters. And he stated his admiration for your work over the years, and since 2008 you are still in business for 10 years now. What has been the motivation?
It's from 2008 till now, it's getting to 13 years.
Yes,
October will be 13 years. The whole thing is passion. If you have passion for the sport, I grew up around Bukum where boxing is the predominant sport, and a lot of my friends back days were into boxing. And so I fell in love with boxing, and I took it as something not about business but passion. And out of passion, I was able to fashion some business out of it. And so the underlying factor, it's the passion for the sport, and that is what has driven me so
13 years, almost
13 years now. Yeah.
Okay. For the past 13 years, there has been a lot of, there should be a lot of challenges, there should be a lot of successes. What are some of your challenges and what are some of your successes?
First and foremost, it's not about complaining. You know, if you are able to, today as you have come to interview me, it's more or less a success, because if you are doing something in a small corner, when people like you start coming to me, that means it's a success. So I want to talk about my success story. There are a lot of kids out there, if they were not able to get somebody like me to promote them in the sport of boxing, they would have ended somewhere else that you cannot imagine. And I am very proud that I've been able to be part of some people's life, to be able to guide them through their career to at least reach some level. Though one or two have become world champions, but some still in the process. And I believe boxing has made them people that other children within the community can admire to also look up to follow their steps. And so that is what I believe is a success for me. The challenges is all about monetary issue, you know, and also the understanding of our people to know that boxing is business, and not only in the ring but in and outside the ring. It's more or less like a brand that you need to develop so that in and outside the ring you can be able to make something out of it. There are a lot of people, when you are working with them, they believe in their training and boxing, and apart from that, nothing. They don't think about branding. Even now you carry yourself in public. Some of the boxers, even when you give them contract for fights and they want them for media engagements and all that stuff, they don't care. Some also can sign contracts and they can breach the contract by not honoring the fight, you know. And it's a whole lot of things that it affects not per se as my brand, but the sport of boxing. Because if a brand want to associate itself to boxing, and the boxers, excuse my language, some of them are trying to be indisciplined, it affects a whole lot of people. Because next time when you go there, they'll tell you, my brother, you are not serious. We are a brand that we don't want to associate ourselves to something that we feel. And so that has been some of the challenges. One or two boxers that are working, and, you know, it was going to be a mega fight, a rematch mega fight. You know, a boxer signed a contract, last minute he starts telling story, you postpone the fight, you tell sponsors there is one or two issues that you need to attend to. At the end of the day, you go back to them, everything is okay, and then again the boxer trying to chicken out of the fight. It gives it discourages sponsors to come on board. So basically, that has been my challenges.
Okay. So what are the causes of some of these things? Because boxers try to terminate contracts not through the proper channels. I've spoken to one or two people that they've signed contracts with boxers as management, and the boxer goes signs with someone else. What generates these things in boxing?
Like I said, sometimes it's about greed, sometimes it's about bad advice, sometimes it's we have dishonest people out there, and they are everywhere, not only in boxing, other businesses. You can see people there, they've signed a contract which they won't honor their part of the contract. But most of these guys, I could see they listen to bad advice. If you want to go into contract with a manager, you need to get an advisor to advise you and read the contract to you clearly. And some of them, they think the management allowance that the managers give out to them is something that is for free, but that is not the case, because he's into contract with you so that you can prepare yourself as a boxer, and that is the business that you and him are arranged to get into. So when you are ready to train, that means you will get training allowance, because the training will take your time. You need to train seriously, relax, not to go anywhere to go and do any menial job or whatever job to do to get money. So the manager has to cater for you, get you some allowance to take care of your basic needs, so that at the end of the day, when there is a big fight out there, you can get the money. Yes, and you need to recoup something that he has put into it. And some people will be there, they won't mind the boxer. The boxer will be there as the boxer start getting being recognized, like start winning fights and get the name out there, and then they will approach the boxer They will tell you, I want to take you to America, and this is Ghana, you can't make it here, this and that, blah, blah. And sometimes these are some of the advices that the boxers, listen to, and then they start misbehaving with their managers.
Okay.
And also, not only on the boxer side, there are some managers too who will be there. They will be giving bad contract to boxers. They will. There is a conventional percentage between boxer and
30.
Manager. As some of them, the way the contract is more or less like a slavery. So these are some of the things. But the GBA has a standard contract that you can go for. Apart from that, you can also draft your own contract, but that should be in conformity with the GBA or the standards.
Okay, I'll come to the GBA. But do you only promote, or do you also manage some boxers?
Okay, I do manage some boxers too, and I do promote. Okay. In Ghana, it's allowed, you can manage and you can promote, but in the US, it's not allowed because of the Muhammad Ali Act. Is something that is not allowed, but in Ghana, you can do that. So yes, I do manage and promote too as well.
Okay, so how many boxers do you have under your belts?
For me, it's more or less like freelance in terms of promotion.
Okay, a fight-by-fight basis.
Yes, the reason is simple because I've not been able to get a big sponsorship contract with any corporate organization out there. When you go out there in the US, like Top Rank, when you go to UK, like
ESPN,
and the other promoters,
Matchroom
and
Queensberry.
All that Queensberry and all that stuff. They have sponsors that they have a long-term
contract
with, and that gives you information about the contract that you need to get into with your boxers. But actually, there are a few boxers that I have multiple bout agreements with, and there are some boxers that they are under my management. So for them, surely they are with the Box Office Sports Promotions brand.
Okay. So, with your boxers, what duration do you think you can produce a next world champion? Because I know Alfred is under your belt.
Yes, Alfred is there. He's a young, up-and-coming boxer. He's a West African champion and UBU African champion. We're looking to get him a WBO Youth World Championship belt as well as WBC Youth Championship silver title. If he is able to win, he will get into the world rankings, and then we gradually push him. We're looking at the next, if we are able to get him at least 2 or 3 fights in a year. It's 8-0. If this year we are able to get him another 2 fights, apart from
September,
after September we get him another fight, maybe in December, then we'll be able to get about 10 fights within this year. Then we have the whole of next year. We can plan around 3 fights for him, then 13 fights. Then we believe by 2023 we'll be ready to challenge the world title. By close of 2023. So basically, within the next 3 years, we're looking at.
Okay, that's very interesting because I've watched him spar, I've watched him train, I've been to his gym, I've watched him, I've followed his career for a while now, and I know his father would be proud wherever he is by now. My next question goes to the GBA. They have an upcoming election. What are your expectations from the new management?
Actually, boxing needs a big push, and boxing is unlike the association football, whereby the association or the organization controls everything, and then everybody is like it's like the GFE. They go for the sponsorship and they organize the league. There is the league board there, but it's the GFA that controls everything in terms of marketing and promotion of the sport there. It's the same. It's not same like the Ghana Boxing Authority. Their mandate is to regulate and promote in the way that like give good name to the sport, and then marketing in terms of giving exposure for people to see and come to invest into it. But it all boils down on to the promoters that has to go out there to get sponsorship and all that stuff. But there is a way around it whereby the GBA can bring promoters together under one umbrella to go out there and seek for sponsorship, give them a slot for dates within a year. So let's say if they are able to get a big sponsor that can sponsor maybe 8 or 10 fights in a year, and they can work with our 5 promoters so that at least they can get 2 dates in a year. It's something that will help the boxers as well as the promoters themselves.
Okay. So this brings me to a situation whereby we often see GBA executives, board members still controlling fighters because they are no more an association, so they don't have to deal directly with the boxers. What are some of the things or some of the measures we can do to eliminate?
Actually, it's all about the way the constitution of the authorities that we need to see that the next Congress will have to push for the amendment. For me, I think the officials like the referee, judges and all that stuff, for them being part of the GB executive board is not anything bad, because the officials themselves are more or less like regulators.
Okay.
But for promoters, managers, matchmakers, and trainers, I think they are involved in the whole thing that they should be regulated. So if you are a player and at the same time you want to be a referee, it's a problem. So what I believe is, if somebody, and you need people who understand boxing to be on the board. So if somebody like maybe we have some veteran promoter, some manager who has been in the game for some time, and some trainers who have been in the game, or officials who are in the game for some time, they can get themselves voted onto the board. But immediately they get onto the board, they should cease to be licensees of the board, because you cannot be on the board to regulate and at the same time license yourself. It's a no-go area. So that is one thing I believe the next Congress I will want to push that reform for. Initially, I thought it was so, but I don't know how people get it.
Okay, but
and with the technical director's position, also there was a time that we had just the past week we had some discussions between the stakeholder groups, the Promoters Association, the Matchmakers Association, as well as the Managers Association. We discussed that, okay, why can't we make the GBA board to vote only for the president, the vice, and the second vice president, the treasurer, and then, or maybe the first, the second, the president, the first and the second, and then the rest is like the associations nominate one person to represent them, like Promoters Association nominates somebody.
Then matchmakers
nominate somebody, but the people, as soon as they get onto the board, they have to cease to be licensees.
Okay. So I know you are organizing a bout in September. What should we expect from you as a promoter, and what are the expectations of what are some of the fights that are going to happen?
Actually, we want to have a press conference, a press launch to unveil the fights, but I can tell you, like you said earlier, I can tell you Afro Lamte will be fighting for the WBO Africa, WBO Youth
Youth.
World title, as well as WBC Youth Silver World title on
Okay.
that night, September 4th. There will be other interesting bouts on the card for that night, and we have a package of we have a PR plan that we have to unveil when we have the press launch, so that we are into discussion with our major TV partner, and within the week we'll be able to conclude everything, and then by next week we can start unveiling the PR plan to the public.
Okay. My last time I met Michael One Bullet Answer, and he was asking me that he and his coach, they asked me that they are still waiting for the Commonwealth title.
Actually, he fought for Commonwealth final eliminator.
That was with Sheriff.
Yes, against Sheriff K. But when the Commonwealth notification came, I saw there was some error that he has to fight to Joseph from Nigeria for the Commonwealth final eliminator, so that the champion will be the mandatory challenger to the title holder. But I wrote to the CBC, that is the Commonwealth Boxing Council, for them to rectify that anomaly, because he fought for Commonwealth final eliminator, and so they have acknowledged receipt of it, and they have said yes, he doesn't need any further final eliminator, so he's now the mandatory challenger to the champion Gavin Gwine also. And they have been giving, because of COVID and other stuff, he has been given up to December ending to defend his title against the mandatory challenger. So within any time, and I'm not waiting for them before Michael Ansan will not have to sit idle waiting for them.
Okay.
So I'm looking at getting a fight on the September bill, so that he can be in shape all the time, and then anytime that they call for it, we'll be ready to go.
Okay, because two friends have promised me that any day Michael is fighting, they would get a ticket to the bout. And viewers, Michael Ansah is a fantastic guy, and you will enjoy him when the press conference starts. He is the guy who talks and walks the talk. So if the bouts are announced, kindly get your tickets and make it to the arena to help Ghana boxing. Thank you. So what are your final words?
My final words are that government should invest into boxing. Boxing is one industry that is very big. It can provide a lot of jobs for people. Because apart from the promoters, we have the trainers, we have the cartmen, we have the matchmakers, we have the boxers themselves, we have vendors of various logistics, we have venue operators or venue rental companies, we have the media also doing their work on that night, and a lot of technicians like the lighting guys, fixing and dismantling of the ring, security guards, paramedics, doctors, a whole lot. It's an industry that employs a lot of people, though the events are occasionally, but if it's being done regularly, a lot of people are going to get job out of it. And if we are able to produce a world champion contender, and is able to win a world title, even if he's not able to win a world title, at a certain point, it will change the fortunes of his family. So government should invest into it, because corporate Ghana or corporate entities will want to see brands that are flying. They want to see things that are interesting before they want to come on board. So if government has a plan, maybe a 3-year plan, development plan for boxing, and invest into it, because as I learned some time back, the winner of Premier League going to Africa will be given about $150,000 to support their campaign for African Champions League, and then for the Continental Championship, the second position also will be giving $100,000 for their campaign for Africa. Let's take boxing. African titles will be able to win within a year. If we're looking at building world champions, at least if government is able to make some good money available for 3-year development plan for GBA, let's say every other month there is a fight, so maybe at least 6 fights in a year. By close up to the 3 years, 18 fights, and we get good fights and international recruit fights. Within that 3-year period, we could get 2 or 3 people being world #1 contenders to be able to challenge world title, and we be able to get at least 1 or 2 world champions. And when they get the money, it's like a foreign exchange for us to, build our economy.
When we speak to ICONZ last week Friday, okay, I spoke. Friday. I spoke to ICONZ last week Friday, and he was saying that we need to invest in the juvenile and amateur boxing in order to promote, in order to get world champions in the next 10 years. And also, his view is that boxing is too concentrated in Accra. It should be regional, and the regional associations are not strong enough to they are virtually weak, so they can't even produce juvenile boxers in other regions. What are your thoughts on that?
Actually, this is not one day wonder that can change the fortunes of boxing in terms of considering the regions. We need a deliberate attempt to be able to build boxing in other regions. And what can be done is, one, if we are able to build boxing trainers and boxing coaches that we can station them outside Accra, maybe all the regional capitals. And then we need to get a boxing gym, a proper boxing gym for them, so that they can do scouting. They get a whole administration to do scouting within the regions, to get people to come to the gym to train and all that stuff. That is a way, but it should be something sustainable. I'm looking at the project that the previous sports minister had built a lot of astroturfs around in some sports facility like parks.
I discussed that with Carl Loco the other time. If government is able to build astroturf and is able to construct even 2 boxing gyms in Bukum, Jamestown, Kolegono.
Yeah, I understand, but like you are talking about developing the regions to produce. Yeah. So let's say we go to Winneba, people who are into physical education, and we can convince them to maybe their 2nd year or 3rd year, we get them to have boxing coaching as their major in the physical education education that they are having, and you are able to train them well. Maybe you pick people from their various regions already, and then you give them like a scholarship,
okay,
and give them skill in boxing coaching. By the time they graduate, they have known a lot, and because they've gone to school, they will know scientifically everything about boxing, because there are a lot of people who learn the boxing through apprenticeship, and they can apply scientific things they don't know about human anatomy and all that stuff, and how they can understand it properly. But if you are able to get coaches with that kind of level of education,
high level of education,
yes, high level of education, and then Sports Council is able to employ them and station them at their way. Because sometimes if you get somebody from Accra, you send him there, the person might not be able to live there properly to work there. You want to come all the time. But people who are there already and they are in school, you get them and you give them the skill, and they go back. They know the region. They can go around and scout people to come and train. And then government can build ultramodern gyms there. Not gym only for boxing, but power gym, boxing ring, and all that stuff there. whereby they can go out there, get people who can come to train for fitness, and then they can pay to sustain the gym. And then you can get the boxers also trained there, and then they can make some money. So these are some of the things that I believe if we are able to do, then we can develop the boxing, and then like I said, the next 10 years we can get a lot of champions coming back to back all the time, you know. So, but we have a lot of boxers in the system that by the next few years, maybe 2 or 3 years, maybe from next year, next year going, we'll be able to get a world champion.
We are taking your word for it. Thank you for joining us and giving us this privilege. We are so grateful for your time, and we wish you all the best in your upcoming bouts and life in general. Okay, thank you for watching Sports Lovers. Continue to subscribe to the channel, press the like button, share our content so others can know. Stay positive. Au revoir. Bye-bye.